Well, hello and welcome to the 11 on 11, a recap of the biggest stories we brought you this week. I'm Tamer Knight. We begin with the latest on the man accused of killing a husband and wife in Devil's Dens last month. Andrew Mcan's arraignment took place this week behind closed doors. The judge in the case ordered the hearing to be completely closed to the public. Bill Russell reports on the jarring new details on a case that's drawn national attention.
Andrew Mcan's arraignment was scheduled for 8 o'clock Thursday morning at the Washington County Jail in Fayetteville. When reporters arrived, they were met with a court order on the door, barring any recording of any kind in or around the courtroom. That's not unusual for a case like this. What is unusual, the public was completely barred from viewing the arraignment as well.
Usually speaking, public does have access to pretty much anything and everything. That's 1610-105, right?
1610-105, the Arkansas Code Fayetteville attorney Adam Rose is referring to, states the sitting of every court shall be public and every person may freely attend the sittings of every court. That rule was clearly not upheld this morning, and the only reason we know an arraignment happened is because Washington County Prosecutor Brandon Carter told us it did.
Mr. Mcan was just arraigned by the circuit court by Judge Taylor. He pled not guilty.
I spoke with multiple legal experts who tell me if the court closes hearings to the public, they must give a, quote, specific reason as to why. In Thursday's Arkansas Legislative Council's Game and Fish and State Police meeting, Senator Terry Rose said he is also confused by the judge's decision to block the arraignment from the public.
I read an article while we were sitting here about the judge closed the courtroom today and they even taped over the one window that you could see in the courtroom. And I mean, there's interest from the public that wants to know. And yes, this case has to move forward, but I don't understand that either.
I was able to get through to Judge Taylor's office and asked multiple times why the proceeding was withheld. Their response remained consistent, quote, "We are not going to talk about this case." When Prosecutor Carter was asked about the decision, he said,
Didn't discuss the court's order from yesterday.
Now back here in Little Rock, State Police answered questions from lawmakers about the case, and you can see what played out at that meeting right now on THV11.com. In other news, a high school football coach in Clarendon is starting the new school year locked up, accused of sexually assaulting a minor. Maya Ellison shares what she learned from school officials this week and reactions from some out in Monroe County.
Well, it's been a great atrocity that we're dealing with, and we're dealing with it as best we can.
That's Lee Vint, superintendent of the Clarendon School District. For the past few weeks, he and his staff have been dealing with the situation he says shocked the district. On July 30th, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office asked Arkansas State Police to assist in an investigation involving high school football coach Caleb Ganon.
We're a school family, and we are in the business of educating our children, and when something happens, it really devastates us all.
Vint says Ganon has been a part of the community for years and never thought something like this could happen.
We hired him and as an assistant coach and to run the ALE program. It's just he presented himself as the All-American boy. And that's what's even more devastating.
According to Arkansas State Police, Ganon is accused of sexually assaulting a minor. He was arrested in West Memphis during a traffic stop on August 10th. ASP says he was charged with felony rape and engaging a child in sexually explicit conduct for use in a visual or print medium.
It's very, very unfortunate that something like this occurred. And very, very unfortunate that we didn't sense that it was occurring.
It's a feeling shared by many in Clarendon.
You know, we all respected him, you know, never thought this would happen.
Arthelia Johnson owns Big Time Restaurant right across from the high school. She says her nephew was the first to tell her about the arrest.
He was like, auntie, you know, I can't believe this here. The kids was hurt, you know, they was really hurt because they looked up to him.
And like Vint, she's hoping the community can come together and heal.
Just pray for him. Just pray for all this that's going on and here in Clarendon, Arkansas.
It really compounds the issue of having to step up and do what we think is the best thing for them at this time. And we ask the community to be understanding of our efforts.
In Clarendon, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Now, the superintendent pointed out the alleged incident did not happen on campus, and Ganon is being held in the neighboring Perry County Detention Center with a statement by state police earlier this week indicating he has a $3 million bond. And Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin now says Zingwan Liu has been arrested on human trafficking charges following raids at 3 massage parlors in Hot Springs. Griffin says his office seized about $16,000 in cash, including currency from China and 4 other countries. Human trafficking has been one of his priorities since taking office, and on Thursday he shared why he's pushing so hard on the issue. He believes Liu likely owns several other businesses across the country. So far this year, authorities have identified 23 victims and served search warrants at 13 massage parlors businesses. And after a 4-year fight, restrictions on procedures for transgender teens and kids will soon be law in the state of Arkansas. That ruling came after a federal appeals panel voted 8-2 to uphold the law, following a similar ruling from the Supreme Court back in June. Carter Threet recaps the details from the U.S.
This is a great day for the state, it's a great day for the legislature.
That was Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin's reaction after the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld Act 626, the SAFE Act. The law bans minors across Arkansas from seeking gender-affirming care, according to one of its sponsors, Senator Alan Clark.
No surgery or chemical surgery on those under 18. And and right behind that was the hormones and drugs.
The law has seen its share of challenges since it was filed in 2021, most notably when then Governor Asa Hutchinson vetoed it, although lawmakers overrode the veto the next day. In 2022, a U.S. district judge halted the law before it could go into effect.
There was a permanent injunction on the law, and so it was no longer effective. It was in effect frozen.
But that won't be the case much longer. Tuesday, the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals reversed that decision by a vote of 8-2. They decided that the law doesn't violate the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause because it's not based on a child's sex, but instead on their age and the type of medical procedure. The court also said that prohibiting medical professionals from administering such treatment doesn't violate the First Amendment because that's considered conduct, not speech.
This is a pretty strong statement backed up by the United States Supreme Court.
That Supreme Court case Griffin referred to was Williams versus Crometti when the High Court upheld Tennessee's ban. It essentially directed the judges in the Arkansas case to rule the way they did today. The ACLU, who represented the transgender kids and their families, called the court's decision, quote, tragically unjust and said it will harm children. Dozens of people in Hot Springs left without a place to call home this week after a fire left their apartment complex in shambles. There were a few injuries from that fire, but officials tell us no one was killed. And as Maya Ellison found out in this THV11 exclusive, it's because of the brave actions of 2 people.
I mean, right now I'm still in shock.
Christian Wallace and Richard Stanley are still processing what happened at the Birchwood Harbor apartment complex Monday night.
I heard 2 screams and I had looked over my balcony rail and I saw 2 women standing here putting their hands over their face and they were screaming.
For Wallace, a normal evening on the porch turned into a scary situation.
When I had looked over the rail and noticed that the trees were even orange and there was probably 40-foot flames. I had knocked on the window. My wife was sitting on the couch and I said, call the fire department, call the fire department.
Without hesitation, Wallace ran outside. And he wasn't alone.
And when I heard something about fire, I just kind of took off out the bathroom door, grabbed a flashlight, and bailed.
Wallace and Stanley quickly realized the apartment next to theirs was on fire.
And we both froze for a minute and was like, okay, is this really what we're gonna do? And then we just went in.
The 2 braved the flames and started helping others escape.
I had ended up getting a couple out on the secondary floor and he ran all the way down to the bottom floor and knocked on the door. They came out, knocked on another door, no one answered.
Somebody hollered out something about kids being in there. And I went, and you got to go all the way through their living room, and there was a hallway that took a right, and they were hunkered down in the hallway where they really weren't in the smoke.
Hot Springs fire officials say the building is unsalvageable, and 21 people were displaced. Fortunately, no one died, and injuries were minor.
We ended up within an hour accounting for everybody. 2 went to the hospital with minor burns. The rest were either awoken by the fire and got out or were not present at the time.
Families returned to what was left Tuesday morning. Neighbors and strangers showed up looking for ways to help. And as for Stanley and Wallace, they say they already had some help.
Don't thank me. Thank God, because I wasn't doing none of that. None of that was controlled by my head.
In Hot Springs, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Now, Red Cross also helps respond, and you can help as well. We have links on ways to assist people forced out by the fire on thv11.com. And still ahead on 11/11, we continue our 11 News investigation into scammers targeting EBT recipients, the issues people are now running into, and what Arkansas is doing to help. We work for you, the viewer, every day, but every week we make it a goal to bring you a story that digs a little deeper. This week's 11 News investigation is a follow-up to one we've been covering for more than a month about an issue that's plaguing thousands of Arkansans, EBT scams. Last weekend, Catherine Rowley got word that recipients needing help with their cards or looking to change their PIN were blocked by the Department of Human Services. So, Catherine reached out to DHS and found there's a reason for the issue.
So we did increase our anti-fraud measures through our toll-free integrated voice response, that the phone number that clients use to activate their cards or change their PINs or request new cards.
Last month, EBT benefits were taken out of families' accounts hours after being deposited. Now the Arkansas Department of Human Services is taking steps to protect recipients, including adding protections to the phone lines where clients can call for replacement cards or to change their PINs.
What we did is block some first-time numbers that hadn't been seen before, especially during periods of extremely high volume, like abnormally high hourly volume, which was indicative that there were fraudsters trying to get through that line.
Mary Franklin is the DHS Director of Division of County Operations. She says while EBT scams are nothing new, they did start to see the reports go up in July. That trend led them to create the enhanced anti-fraud protection. But there are some growing pains with the new system. Franklin says that there are some who may not be able to get through to DHS on the phone.
We have launched a new web form at our ar.gov/snapfraud website, so that if they need to get through, they're having trouble getting through, they could give us some information on a web form, and we are working to get that information entered into the system.
Protecting phone lines isn't the only change DHS is looking at. The agency is also considering updating the actual cards people receive.
We are looking into chip cards. Right now, the SNAP cards are all magnetic stripe cards, unlike most debit cards now that have both the stripe and the chip. So we are looking into making that change. We'd like to make that change.
When a credit card from a bank has a purchase that seems like a fraud, an alert is sent out. But that doesn't happen with EBT cards, but it's another thing DHS is looking into.
It's not a short-term fix, and that's what makes all of these other things that we are trying to make clients aware to do to help protect themselves, and why we have increased the fraud measures at our integrated voice response.
But Franklin says making those changes won't be easy.
It requires not only changes on our side, through contracting with our EBT vendor, it also requires retailers to make changes to their systems in order for their systems to accept an EBT card with the chip.
In Little Rock, Catherine Rowley, THV 11 News.
Now remember, anyone having issues changing their PIN over the phone can visit ar.gov/snapfraud. There's also a free app you could use to report problems. That's where you'll also go if you think your benefits have been stolen. Trash is piling up because of a labor strike, and that sounds like a headline from the big East Coast city, right? But it's actually being felt very close to home. Carter 3 spoke with people in Saline County this week who are sorting out the strange excuses one trash company has been giving customers.
What I'm seeing here in Bryant, you can find all over Saline County. Bins belonging to Arizona-based Republic Services full when they're supposed to be empty. I'm told it's due to a nationwide strike.
We're on strike against Republic service.
That was one of several Republic workers who were striking outside the company's Little Rock facility on Wednesday. I reached out to Republic, and they told me that this is a strike that started in Georgia that's now made its way to central Arkansas.
We've extended our line up to Little Rock, Arkansas, and we'll be on strike all week.
Republic says customers could see delays as the strike goes on. Andrew Tam of Bryant tells me his pickup was already missed last week for reasons that didn't seem to add up.
They sent out a severe weather notice, and that was the reason for canceling the pickup for the day. I happened to be standing outside when I got it, and it was like sunny and nice.
And if you thought that seemed odd, wait till you hear what they told Marcia Carter of Haskell.
The next week on pickup day, they said that there was a parade in Haskell, and it was 103 degrees, and there was no parade.
Carter says she was told that Republic staff only have so many options to choose from when telling a customer why their service is delayed, so they just picked one. The real reason seems to be the strike. And Tam and Carter's problem is transparency.
Well, they haven't sent me any kind of transparent messaging on what's going on.
I just wish they would tell us the truth instead of sending some bogus text message about a parade or your subdivision's blocked or whatever the case may be.
In Saline County, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
The striking workers are members of Teamsters Local 728, one of two locals repping drivers in the state. They also represent truck drivers for companies like UPS here in Arkansas. Republic added in their statement that they apologize to customers and hope their resolution is soon. Still ahead, a unique way strangers are connecting with each other, how they're using pen and paper to share the human experience. But first, let's eat it up.
Cool, I've never seen it done like that before.
I've never seen it done like that before either.
We're inventing stuff, baby. Who said us Cabot boys ain't smart? We can do it right. This week on Eat It Up, we are in Cabot, just off of Highway 5 at Tall Paul's. Y'all, this place just opened. I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, already a hit here in Lonoke County. I want to show you some salads that are unbelievable with flavor, award-winning cheese dip, and a pork chop that is the mother of all pork chops. So what do you say? Let's eat it up.
My whole family, we moved here in '94. I graduated high school here, and I've been a Cabot guy since. I mean, I love the town, and really, I'm very overwhelmed by the response that they've showed up and given us. Really, my dad was great. He was very influential in my life. We call him. His name was Paul Higginbotham. All my friends called him Tall Paul, and he would stand about yay high. He was not tall at all in stature, but he made up for it and with some personality. He was a great man. I had no idea how to run a restaurant, and thankfully my partner, Johnny Campbell, who also owns Pizza Pro in town, has really been the driving force of making this happen. The pork chop is unbelievable, the cheese dip is unbelievable. Our wings are great. They really are great. We also have a Monte Cristo sandwich that, funny enough, I mean, the chef told me, he's like, hey, we're gonna have a Monte Cristo sandwich, and I'm like, what's that? I don't even really know what it was. He shows me, and I was like, okay, man, sounds good, and we are selling the heck out of it.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
In 2022, it was a world championship recipe from a previous endeavor, and
Heck
it was
yeah.
so good we carried it over.
I tried to get super full on all the cheese dip. This is about the most beautiful looking salad I've ever seen in my life.
And it tastes just as good. It's our smoked carrot salad with salmon. Unbelievable, made fresh every day. You guys will love it.
Man, I love salmon on a salad too. You're gonna make me skinny. Come on, I'm getting that every time.
I love it.
The smoked carrot's awesome. Smoked carrots too.
Smoked carrots, who knew, right? Monte Cristo.
Monte Cristo.
Yep. Not disappoint, does it?
Strawberry. That's like fresh strawberries.
Fresh.
You could have picked that out here.
I hope we did.
My mouth's watered enough. Let's get to the Big Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about right here.
16-ounce, bone-in, tomahawk-style
Come
pork
on.
chop.
You know how tempting it was to like grab it like that.
Peach bourbon barbecue sauce as a glaze, topped with some onion tanglers, and that is my favorite thing on the menu.
All right, Brie test.
Smoky and tender. Next Thursday. Juicy. Wow.
Yes, it's a massive bite. No, don't judge me.
That's why it's called Eat It Up.
I'm about to sleep it up after this. That's right.
We want to leave you with a story that's leaving its mark on people across the world, thanks to some old-fashioned pen and paper. Valamir Duthyer met with Brandon Domain, founder of the Strangers Project, and learned about his inspiring mission. Take a look.
The saying goes, if only walls could talk. Well, here at the Strangers Project exhibit in downtown Manhattan, they certainly do.
Feel free to grab some merch just on the house.
Founder Brandon Doman took a simple idea from pen to paper and transformed it into a growing masterpiece of the shared human experience. A collection of anonymous handwritten letters that all answer the question, what's your story?
The very first day I was doing this, I was just outside of a coffee shop watching people pass by. I took a marker and my notebook and I just wrote an invitation for people to sit and write something about their life. No big plan for it, but almost immediately these two women were walking by and they saw my little sign. They said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm not sure yet, but would you mind writing something about your life?"
16 years later, Doman has collected over 100,000 stories in person at pop-up exhibits and schools across the country.
That's for you. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of it.
And this permanent display in New York, which is funded entirely by donations, gathers visitors from all across the world.
How do you think that the act of writing something that's personal to them changes them at some level?
You know, when I first invite people to write, one of the most common things I hear is they'll say some version of, "Oh, I'm not that interesting," or "My story wouldn't be like these ones on the wall." But these stories are all from all those same people. And I think that's why these resonate so deeply with people. Even the short, silly ones is showing that these are the moments we live every day.
So Doman took me around the room, and a few particular letters caught my eye.
I'm 8 years old. I always get angry. When I get angry, I stomp my feet and annoy everyone around me. But now I changed. When I get angry, I just say, "Stop bothering me," and keep on doing what I was doing. To be angry is okay. Just don't bother other people.
It's a good life lesson.
Yeah, it is a very good life lesson. This person writes about being raised in an ultra-Orthodox Jewish family, wanting to get along, but doesn't get along with people who say they love me. And then at the end they say, "I love you. I just don't love me."
On the day we visited, a few dozen letters were submitted, including these that stood out.
I always thought I'd end up dead by 18. My 19th birthday was yesterday, and it genuinely has been a good one.
Life is like a musical score sheet. There are high notes and low notes. Life is made up of highs and lows. There cannot be happiness without sadness, and there can never be light without darkness. However, that is what makes life beautiful.
When you look up from this, if there is anyone near you, please smile at them and know we are all more alike than different. We all have the capacity for compassion.
I was inspired to write my very own letter for the exhibit. But as tradition has it here, anonymity is key. So no peeking.
Through all of the years of doing this, is there a running theme, a thread that you've pulled and you've said, this is representative of humanity?
I think it's all of these are just telling the rest of the world, like, hey, I'm here and I have something to say. And so it's going to come through in a million different topics in a million different ways. But I think all of these are just sort of reaching out to the world and just saying, we're all a part of this. I'm a part of this. Here's a little bit of what I have to say.
Well, that's going to do it for the 11 on 11. We'll see you next week right here on THV 11 Plus.